Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Um, Come on in, man. Let's talk ball real quick. It is another good day. Won't be before you very, very long, but we can talk some ball. Um, as always, make sure you bring your adult beverage. I'm going to be tweeting out this game or this show real quick, so bear with me. And I'm happy, man. If y'all been watching ball, especially playoff ball, it's looking good right now. It's looking damn good right now. So hopefully there's no complaints with that. I honestly feel that we're in for a treat with these playoffs, and I'm here for it. If that means that if that really means that we had a terrible year just to have this good a basketball, then so be it. Spliff, I see you. What's up, brother? Jaden, I see you. What's good, y'all? Not the hoodie you wanted to see. I know, man. I know, man. Spliff, I know. I know, man. It's wild. It's wild. All right, man. So yeah, thank y'all. Thank y'all for coming out. I thought I would do it this way instead of the spaces. For one, if you're on the spaces today, you saw you saw me lose my shit because my power went out. My battery died, if you will. I didn't realize I had about 10% left on the battery. I remembered that, but never charged the phone. So we was in a good spot, man, where I believe it was Eddie. He was talking, man. He was talking some ball, and it cut out. So I got my phone back on and tried to use spaces again, and then it cut out again. So I'm like, forget it. You know what? I'll go back to the stream. All right. Let's get into it, man. Let's look at these games. I like today's slate. So let's do a quick little, I guess, refresher, if you will, man. This is how it's gone down. If you looked at the game ones on a lot of these games, primarily I'm talking about the Miami Heat Milwaukee game and the Denver and Clipper game. If you looked at those games were really bad for those teams. So even though Milwaukee won by 2 points barely in overtime, and even though Portland put a slap on Denver, it was a tale of two teams. This was a tale of two teams, y'all. Bottom line. Denver obviously had a terrible shooting night, didn't really get to the charity stripe at all. And the same thing with Milwaukee. They had a terrible night, and they still won. They still won the game. And that was the stat that stuck out was 5 for 31 at the three. Those are not good stats, and you will never win a game if you're shooting that bad from the three-point line. Now, the thing is that you have to understand is that at some point in time, man, you got to get in your head to where you're either going to shut it down and try to get an old-fashioned three, which is getting to the cup and creating a foul, but you got to stop shooting these threes, and it just did not stop. You only shoot those threes when you're making them, and that's why when you looked at the Portland game, they shot 50%. 50% from the three. They were 19 for 40, so about 48%. That's not going to happen very often. So going into yesterday, if you look at those games, I looked at the lines first. I'm like, wait a minute, these lines are still the same, right? So Milwaukee is still supposed to win by 4.5. No kind of adjustment there, right? And then Denver, even though they got smacked by Portland, it was still Denver minus 1.5. Now, why would that happen? Why would the line do that? Well, if you're looking at it from just a broad perspective, they just don't believe. They don't believe in the damn books. Or I'm sorry, they don't believe in these teams getting up like they did again. So they didn't believe that Milwaukee would have a bad game. They didn't believe that, if anything, Portland will have a great game like they did. Mark, salute, baby. Rex, what's good, baby? We about to build, man. We got some announcements we're going to make, man. I'm telling you this. We're really about to build this year. This Los Angeles trip that I'm going on, it's about business, right? It's about building this brand. It's about, just making us more consistent. And so I like where we're headed. So if you haven't already, you see Rex in the comments, follow that dude. Rex is sharp at soccer, and I know a lot of you have. So just getting back into these games. Simba, what's good? I see you, baby. Man, I love y'all brothers, man. No homo shit, but I love y'all brothers, man, because y'all really, really, y'all are day ones. Okay, not to get off topic here. So we're talking about yesterday's games and what those lines said. And the reason why I'm giving you this whole little monologue, if you will, is to kind of set up the narrative for today. So the lines didn't change at all. The books are saying Milwaukee's going to win good and Denver. Lo and behold, it is exactly what happened. Denver got off to a good start. And of course, Portland wasn't shooting 50 from the three. So Milwaukee got off to a great start, and Miami had no answer. And this was from start to finish, man. Start to finish. That game was over. Start to finish was over. I mean, they put up almost 100 points first half. And Milwaukee turned it on. So that's the end of that. I had a good feeling about the model, choosing those same teams with the same lines. But I'm going to tell you right now, man, I wasn't the most confident. Going to LA to cash some Clipper tickets. Come on, Spliff. Come on, man. I'm with you. Okay. So today, we're talking about today's games, right? These games are very, very important to a certain degree. Why? Because as the model would speak, right, all these teams are going to go 2-0. So Brooklyn is going to go 2-0. That line is slowly but surely creeping up. It's at -9.5 now. Phoenix is +2 or -2 rather, or excuse me, Phoenix is +2, like I said. But according to the model, Phoenix is up and will win this game again too. And then Clippers, -7. According to the model, Clippers even win this game, but they don't cover. And this is also another line that's been kind of shooting up a little bit. So I looked at these games, and first off, the game that really stuck out was obviously the Laker game, because this game started as, well, game one rather, it started with them being underdogs, right? And now they're favorites here. That line moved a lot. It moved a lot. Why? Because CP3 is hurt. CP3 is hurt. Trust me, he is not 100. That shoulder is off. This is going to affect his dribbling. This is man, don't even let him get picked. You know, you can't have it once that shot, that numbing shot wears off, man. I mean, come second quarter or something after you're running and getting loose, bro, it's not good. So honestly, this line is saying that Chris Paul is not the best. But then the last thing that you really, really want to take to heart is that Lakers don't lose after game one. They just don't lose. So with those two things being the major factors, they don't lose game ones, and that Chris Paul is out. I could see the movement in this line, and the books are telling you, honestly, that the Lakers are going to win this game pretty heftily, if you ask me. Why? You're not going to see the same stat sheet that you saw from AD in this game. Ayton just looked like AD. He looked like AD, if you will. So I like the position that line is moved, and I like the position LA's in to win. Now, if we break down these games, first game is going to be pretty obvious. I'm just going to give you the model numbers here because the first game is pretty obvious. Brooklyn should win and win handedly. They should win. No question. This shouldn't even be a question. They should win, and they should win handedly. The problem is the model has the Brooklyn Nets winning by 6 points. 6 points. That's saying a lot. Now, if we all go in the closet and put on our tinfoil hat, we know that it looks like what it's suggesting is that Brooklyn can beat Boston anytime they want, right? So, of course, the more games you play, the more revenue you have. So if you can beat a squad in 4 games, right, then you can beat them in 5 or 6. You can let that other squad have a couple of games. And so that's what it kind of looks like in Boston right now, because there's no answer. There's absolutely no answer for the big three. The big three just have to play solid ball and be more gelled and meshed together. And that's something that they don't yet have because they just haven't played a lot of ball together. That's what happens. So in this instance, man, I agree with the number, not the model. Not the model. I agree with the number and not the model. This model has Boston winning by or losing by 6, excuse me. I don't agree with that. I believe that you saw a close game first to third quarter, and then something just happened in the fourth quarter for Brooklyn, and they just took off. And I just don't think you got the firepower necessary to beat Brooklyn. They would have to have a terrible shooting night, and you would have to have a great shooting night from Kemba, from Tatum, and from Fournier, in my opinion. So I don't agree with the model, but the model is saying that Brooklyn wins this game by 6 and doesn't cover. So we'll see what happens with that. I do like Brooklyn. I didn't make a play on that game at all, only because I have to respect the model, right? So, of course, the last games I took, I had lost. So this model isn't going to be 100% right. But yeah, the over makes sense. But it's kind of crazy, Simba. The over does make sense. It really does. Because these are probably the worst defensive teams in the playoffs, if you ask me. The Nets have probably got to be one of the worst defensive teams, and then Boston's not too far right behind them. So with that said, I don't agree with the model, but I have to respect the model. I believe Brooklyn can get it done. And this is why you've seen that line start to steadily climb up like it has. Wouldn't be surprised if it gets to 10. Just wouldn't be surprised there. All right, next game, we've got Lakers at Phoenix Suns. I hate foe. I promise you, man, I'm going to get a shirt that says no foe for you. I hate foe. Phoenix. I hate him. I hate them all. I hate that entire team. But I love Monty. I'm a big Monty fan. And I love Chris Paul, man. Not even really too sold on Book yet, even though Devin Booker is the right guy for that team and for that system. I think that Devin Booker is great altogether. So with that said, this is a funny system. The model has the Suns winning this game tonight. Again, the model shows the Suns winning this game. Take away the variance. Take away the, you give yourself a little bit of variance for the Chris Paul injury. Model still has the Suns winning by 4 points. 4 points. The model has them winning by 4 points. So I think what you have here is another place where I disagree. I totally disagree with the model. I completely disagree with the model. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I like the Lakers. I took them as a top play. And I believe that they can get it done based upon the stats that I've already written out or even talked about in my pick earlier today. I like LA to win this game. The reason why is I thought LA actually played a terrible game against Phoenix and still kept it really close. Some things that had jumped out about that game, honestly, was how good Caruso had played. Caruso played pretty good. And I think you can count on that defensive aggression. I think he matches up well with Phoenix. He's the same speed, if you ask me, as Booker. I know that sounds sacrilegious, but bro's got some speed on him. Kuzma needs to step up also. Now, you didn't get any play. You didn't get any ball from McLemore, Wesley Matthews, KCP, which really didn't give you much. These guys step up on a superb level, and I believe they get it done tonight. So I really do like the Lakers. The model has the Suns winning by 4 points. So essentially, it's the same number that the model had last time. The model has Phoenix winning this game by 4. Now, I would want to respect the model, but I just don't think the model really takes into consideration, some of these past stats and some of these trends that do kind of fall in line once there is a loss. And that is LA Lakers, bro, cannot go down 0-2. Just can't go down. It's not possible. And I don't think that happens. So we have Brooklyn that should win pretty easily, in my opinion, even though the model disagrees. And we've got this here. The model is saying Phoenix Suns by 4. I don't agree. I don't believe that the Phoenix Suns are going to get up 2-0. I believe this is a 1-1 split. And therefore, I did take the Lakers. So I'm disagreeing with the model. I'm not respecting them at all. All right, next game, man. If we're going to, what I'll do is I'm going to go on Spaces and we'll go into detail, because what I like to do is have a little collaboration and talk with the other fellas and see just kind of what their eyes have looked at, if you will, or if they've seen some things that I haven't seen. It usually always happens, right? To where you could get an extra set of eyes to look at a stat or a trend or something that is either favorable or not favorable to you. So I'll do that and go on to the spaces, and we'll take a deep dive into this Lakers game. But just looking at it from a broad perspective, I do not agree with the goddamn model. If the Lakers go down and lose 0-2, it's curtains. It's curtains, man. I don't know. I don't know. I think a case of the Rona is going to hit Phoenix, man. I don't know. So, yeah. Somebody say you dropped a pretty penny on the over. Yeah, that might be a good spot. I think that, honestly, man, I think if the over is what you're talking about as far as LA Lakers, because I know you said that when I was talking about Boston. If it's the Lakers, if you feel the same way about the Lakers, I wouldn't be surprised. And the reason why is you can't keep having these trends, man, where everything is hidden, like the unders are just hidden. Everyone who bet overs from the play-in game till yesterday, man, has just been getting their ass handed to them. So it's something about today, something about whatever line in the total, that there is a lot of money going in on the overs, specifically the Brooklyn game and specifically that Clippers game, which is wild to me. Clippers game, it just seems like it's going to be just another blowout, if you ask me. So to recap on that second game, we do have the Lakers at -2. I took Lakers at -2 based upon the Chris Paul issue, based upon AD not having good stats and he comes back better, and then based upon Lakers not going down 0-2. They're 5-0 when they lose their first game. So I do like the Lakers. The model does not. The model likes the Suns. Fuck the model. I don't give a damn. I do respect the model, though. I ain't gonna lie. The model get on my damn nerves, man. I didn't play at all. Kind of got scared off the regression, so I didn't play the model. And the model had went 3-1 the next day. I'm like, all right, fuck it. So I played it yesterday. It went 2-0. So I do like this. I don't think you see much regression, if you will. The numbers are pretty solid. And so the funny thing was, as animated as I am about this Laker game, right? This game right now, if the Lakers lost it, I almost wouldn't be surprised because it's what the model said. It's what the model said. All right, last game, y'all. Thank y'all for dropping in. Mo, I appreciate you, baby. Salute, man. I appreciate you. Let's get it with these Lakers, man. Let's get it. I really think. And the thing is, here's the bad thing about it, too. Not very many people are on the Suns. Like, everybody and their mom is on the Lakers. So this is always kind of gives you a moment to cause for pause. Everybody is just on the Lakers. Lakers money line. They'll take that little extra big because they're thinking it's close. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be close. Not to the point to where I would take the 1.5, 2, because I just don't think it'd be close. So I think the VIG on that is probably a little extra, maybe -130, 140 or so. I'm greedy, man. I don't want that. I don't want to pay that extra VIG. So I'll take the points. I do think they get up here. But, man, trust me, and I'll end it with that. If the Lakers lose tonight, that is a large hill to climb. I'll leave it at that. Last game we have, man, it's one of my favorites, bro. I'm not wearing, pretty much, bro. I just put on a sweatshirt because my other shirt was dirty. You know, that's just it. It is what it is, man. I don't leave any, I guess, any subliminal messages, if you will, with teams that are going to win, man. I just wear shit because the other shit I had on was dirty. So it is what it is, man. I can't see AD flopping. Not at all. Not at all. Yeah, I'll see you on Spaces in just a bit. Let's wrap this up. So we got Dallas at Clippers, man. That line is Clippers -7. Now, it's kind of steamed up there, right? This line is moved to the Clippers' favor. So now this one's giving me cause for pause also, because this is another line, man, where it's telling you a story, but I don't really like the story that it's telling. Clippers -7 is the total right now. For what it's worth, man, the model has this game as Clippers -4.11. And I agree with that number. I agree. So there was This number got as low as 6. It was, I think in some places you could have even seen a 5.5. Didn't touch it. Got to 6.5. Didn't even touch it. Man, once that hit 7, I'm like, I gotta hit Dallas, because this is another game, man, in which, my opinion, I believe that the Clippers can easily win. And what I mean easily win is just that they just win the game, but they're not going to cover almost 10 points. I can't see it. I can't see it. But for what it's worth, this line movement and the play right now is on the Clippers to do just that, blow these guys out. You watch that game, it was pretty even the entire game. There was just no answer for Luka, right? But for the most part, you look at the box score in that game, it's pretty even across the board, man. It was pretty even across the board. In the first part, if I look at the game, we'll go over the box score here really quick. Looking at these box scores, the whole total was 113 and 103. It's only a 10-point game, right? But those box scores, first quarter, 33-30, Dallas. Second quarter, 27-25, Dallas. Third quarter, 26-25, Dallas. Fourth quarter, 27-23. So they controlled the entire game. They literally controlled the entire game. They were not down. They scored more points in every quarter. So I don't see a team that really doesn't have to make any adjustments. You have to make all the adjustments as the Clippers, right? Because you had no answer for Luka whatsoever. Bro torched you. That whole team went 50 from the field, 47 from the 3, and 77 from the charity stripe. In the meanwhile, the Clippers over here messing shit up. They go 44 from the field, 28 from the 3, and then 75 from the charity stripe. So for what it's worth, if we're trying to keep the same narrative going, you know that Clippers are not going to have that bad of a game, right? But if it was 113 and 103, are we thinking like a 17 points, swap here? They lost by 10. They're favored by 7. That doesn't make sense to me, right? So I don't know if it was to really bait people into Dallas, but I don't even see how that's an issue. And the reason why is because the majority of the money is not even on the Clippers. It's on Dallas. So as far as the model, Boz, for this one here, the model has the Clippers winning by 4.11 points. Yeah, bro. This is why I think the model is right to a certain degree. I thought these lines were like this because of that whole debacle with Kristaps Porzingis in the strip club, right? So maybe there's some COVID protocol going down. I didn't think it would happen if you didn't suspend LeBron, right? You can't sit here and throw that on Porzingis. So yeah, I know a lot of people stayed away probably. I know a lot of people, Boz, came in on the Clippers. A lot of people came in on the Clippers. I was heavy on the Clippers until I started to see that number climb. If it would have stayed like in the 5.5s and the 6s, yeah, but there's just been so much money coming on the Clippers to make that number go up as high as it did. So this could easily be a middle bet, if you ask me, to where I believe that at that 6.5 mark, 6.5 or 6 point mark, if you got the Clippers at 6, man, or if you got them at 5.5, they can win by 6. Right. And that 7 will still hold for me. I think this team can cover or can win, but just not cover, man. I don't see how they can cover 10 points after the shellacking that they took. If anything, Dallas could get better. Dallas could get it a whole lot better. And all you need to do as the Clippers is just improve on your 3 and getting your defensive, make sure you're in the right defensive stance. You're in the right defensive scheme, and make sure you can help on your rotations. It almost seems like that playoff Rondo is having to do a lot more than he should, in my opinion. So I do like Dallas here now that this number is +7. For what it's worth, man, a lot of people are on the Clippers, and the side seems like it is the Clippers. The only reason why I didn't bet this one is because, one, it's the fucking Clippers. It's the Clippers. And secondly, because it is a model, shows that, yeah, they will win. And B, I just saw the first game and I'm like, what adjustments does Dallas have to make here? I don't see many adjustments they have to make. They got to just come back and play their game. If they do put a halt in Luka, I mean, damn, these players were stepping up, man. I mean, you had a hell of a game. Now, in my opinion, man, if you want to really be honest, I like Willie Cauley-Stein, bro. I am a big fan of Willie Cauley-Stein. I think he came to the party a little late. Good college career. But honestly, man, I think this kid is smart enough to know the game, and he's been a huge disruptor. Let's get it straight. This team is probably not as good as they are if they don't have Jalen Brunson. This dude's a dog. Jalen Brunson is a dog. That's all I got to say, man. If you put Jalen Brunson in that dog category, put him in that same category as Dylan Brooks, right? He's a dog, man. He's scrappy. This guy's good. I do like Jalen Brunson a lot. I like Trey Burke. I'm a big fan also of Hardaway Jr. If you know Tim Hardaway, he had that UTEP two-step. Go YouTube that shit. But this is his son, man. This is his son. So Tim Hardaway is great, I believe, for the squad. I do like Josh Richardson. So Jalen Brunson and Josh Richardson, to me, are my X factors. I'm kind of upset, man, that J.J. Redick is just not choosing to get involved in this team. I'm kind of upset. He's looked like he's still hurt from that whole New Orleans trade. Kind of upset about that. I do like Maxi Kleber. I call him DJ Maxi Kleber. I believe he had turntables at the bubble. I think that was Maxi. Yeah. So, he's playing his little techno shit. So yeah, he was in the bubble with some turntables. So I like him, man. I like him. I want to say he gets up. I know he was on the injury report as either questionable or probable, but I do like him. Dwight Powell, also another good guy. So you look at these guys, man. Of course, Dorian Finney-Smith. Of course, Luka. Of course, Willie Cauley-Stein. I mean, they've got two centers. You don't see that in the league. Bro, come on. They're pretty loaded. So you talk about the Clippers having depth, which they do. But hey, man, Dallas has depth also. They've got pretty decent depth, enough depth to where they can beat the Clippers in their rotations. So yeah, boss. Tim Hardaway was a baller, man. Watched him in real time a lot, bro. Watched him in real time a lot. He was playing, man, and this is during the time of the Penny Hardaways. It was aggressive at the guard position. So you had to be really good to stand out. This is the Jordan era, obviously, coming a little on the latter part of the Jordan era, if you will. So that's it. So the model has this game. Clippers winning by 4. I believe Dallas could just win outright, which is weird that the Clippers are even winning. So maybe if you're taking a deep dive into this game, you are seeing things that I'm not. But what I saw was a complete debacle by the Clippers. They had no answer for Luka whatsoever. He did what he wanted when he wanted and didn't even need the unicorn at all. Didn't even need him. Tim Hardaway was shooting threes. Josh Richardson and Jalen Brunson are the guys, to me, in my opinion, who matter for the squad. And it was a huge, huge gamble to get rid of Rivers, Curry, to get rid of Seth Curry, because I thought there was your outside shooting. But you're seeing now a little bit of incline in Brunson and Richardson. And so I like it. So my picks, I no play on the Brooklyn game. I respect the model here. Wouldn't be surprised if Brooklyn didn't cover. As a matter of fact, man, I should just play like a little sprinkle on that, because even though I don't agree with the model, I've got to respect it. No, I'm not, because I got to go with my gut. So I'll leave it as is. No play on Brooklyn, Boston. The second game being LA and Phoenix. The model has Phoenix winning by 4. I don't agree with the model. I bet not agree with the goddamn model. The Lakers are going to win this game. I did take Lakers -2 because the line does show it. And then the last game being, in my opinion, another win by Dallas. Like, if any team goes 0-2, it's going to be the Clippers. right? Even before Boston, I could see Boston winning before the Clippers, and that's just me. Even though I just said, goddamn, Brooklyn could come out here and just win big. So I do like Dallas in this case. That number had gotten up a little too high for me, and I'm like, okay, let me take Dallas. Let's see if this game is close. It did stay close the entire game, game one. All right, man. Appreciate all y'all, man. Appreciate all y'all. What's good? Appreciate all y'all, man. All right, that's it, man. That's it. Those are my picks. I don't have any leans on, if you will, totals. I do team totals. So I'll go into that on Spaces also. Boss, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you a lot, man. So yeah, those are the plays. Thank you so much for listening, watching, doing whatever you're doing, man. Just taking the time to see my ugly mug on camera, and I appreciate it, man. Till next time, man. Let's do it again tomorrow.